You have optimized your LinkedIn headline. You have even uploaded a very beautiful and perfect headshot. But still, you are invincible. Your DM is silent. No collaboration offers, no DMs, no request for your offers, your services, or your products. Just silence. So here's the truth. You're not getting noticed on LinkedIn not because your work is not good. No, not because your work is not good. You may have loads and loads of experience. 2 months, 5 months, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, or maybe even 20 years. Loads of experience. Number one problem is that your brand story is missing. Today, I'm going to show you how to fix it. I'm going to show you using the same story principles I teach consultants, coaches, thought leaders, creators, and rising professionals who are ready to stop blending in. Let's talk about why your LinkedIn presence isn't clicking. I'll give you just 3 reasons today. Number 1, your profile is written like a resume, like a CV, not a reputation. You are supposed to write your profile like a reputation and not a resume. All you have currently is your big job titles, your big job duties, and the big companies you've worked with. You see, the thing is, a resume tells you what, and the story tells you why. If your profile is written like a resume, that means it will lack an emotional hook, it will lack a personal brand, and it will lack a story as to your reputation. So this is really, really important. If your profile is looking like a resume, then that is the very first thing you're going to need to fix. Now, the second issue here is that you sound just like every other person in your industry. And this is why I mentioned writing your profile like a resume is dangerous, because all those resumes have practically similar formats. So that means your voice is going to be sounding exactly like other people in your industry. So if you're a banker, you're going to be sounding like every other banker. If you're an insurance agent, you're going to be sounding like every other insurance agent. If you're in the tech world, if you're in healthcare, whatever industry it is you're in, you will be sounding exactly like other people, and your voice will drown on LinkedIn, because when people are being searched out, there will be a differentiating factor they're going to be looking for. And if your differentiating factor doesn't show and you're sounding just as bland as every other person, then you will sink in the system. All right? So you see headlines that have things like strategic thinker, proven track record, passionate about transformation, helping busy entrepreneurs. Things like that is what we call the LinkedIn echo chamber. You have successfully joined the LinkedIn echo chamber. So at the end of the day, if you're flipping through profiles and headlines and you write something like strategic thinker, you're going to find dozens and dozens, thousands and thousands of strategic thinkers. So you have to have a differentiating factor. And it is your story, your brand story, that is this differentiating factor, because your story is not the same as another person's story. That is what makes you different from every other person, even if you worked in the same industry with them. Number 3 is that you are showing up as a title and not a transformation. Sometimes it surprises me why. Well, okay, I'm guilty of it too. I've been guilty of it too at a time. You see, many people get stuck in glorifying themselves with titles. Now, it is a trap. That trap, once you get stuck in it, like I earlier said, you sound like every other person and your profile looks like a resume, which doesn't stand out. Okay? People buy identity. People buy transformation. people buy a shift. So if your profile shows only a title and doesn't speak to transformation, then you are going to be quickly forgettable. Your profile will get lost in the crowd. So what is a brand story really? I've gotten that question so many times. When you keep speaking to brand story, it just throws a lot of people off balance. You see, a brand story or your brand story is that thing about you, that part of your journey that differentiates you from other people, all right? It's the emotional logic of your business. It's not just about what you do, but it's about what your journey represents, about who you are, your journey. The story is how you're taking us from your why, what started you on that path, every milestone you've achieved, how you transformed and shifted from point zero to point 100. So you are taking people on a transformational journey, promising them that you can take them through that journey as well. So you see, this shift that you're going to be talking about, this transformation that your profile is going to be speaking to, is a shift that you're going to promise your target audience you can lead them through. All right, so you're going to be speaking to it in such a way that you can explain to them, they can visualize from your content, from your posts, from your profile, from how you present yourself. For every little aspect counts. It will speak directly to your transformational journey and the transformational journey and change of identity that you can also promise to deliver. The brand story must answer these following questions, right? Now, who are you really? Not your title. Not your title. Don't get it wrong. Not your title. You are not your title. Titles change over time, right? So it's not about your title. Who you are is your story, right? Then why does it matter to you personally? Why does this story matter to you personally? Why does it resonate with you? And why should it resonate with your target audience? Okay. What transformation can you take your target audience or your client through? What are you promising them? How can you create that transformation? Right? And then how are you going to deliver this transformation or shift to your clients? These are the questions your brand story should be able to answer or speak to in your content, in your profile, and in your DMs. When you're having conversations with people in the DMs, you have to keep reiterating and speaking about that transformational journey, who you are, what you can deliver in terms of the shift, and the process you're going to use to deliver this transformation. That is when you've gotten your brand story figured out. Here's the exact LinkedIn framework I give my clients to use to rewrite their LinkedIn story. Now, it works whether you are a CEO, a founder, an executive, whatever industry you're working in, or even a rising creative. This framework used to rewrite your LinkedIn story is called the brand story spine. So I'm going to show you in a few steps how to fix your LinkedIn story using this brand story spine. Too many talented professionals are hiding in plain sight on LinkedIn. Great experience, impressive qualifications, but still no traction. Why? Because facts don't build connection, stories do. So if your LinkedIn profile feels flat, this is your fix. Let's rebuild your brand using the brand story spine framework. And here's how it works. Think of your LinkedIn as a storybook, and your reader is the next opportunity. The brand story spine has 5 key parts.
and I'll walk you through each one. Start with your audience, not your title. Say clearly, I help who and you do what. This shifts your profile from job history to brand value. Now name their problem. The deeper the empathy, the deeper the connection. Be the voice that says, I see you. Next is your turning point. The moment your own story changed. Now, this could be a lesson, a failure, or a shift. This is where your credibility becomes human, especially to your target audience. And then finish with the results, which is the freedom, the clarity, the confidence, and then the growth. Whatever transformation your work brings, this is your impact story, because that's exactly what your audience wants to hear. How you were able to gain freedom, how you were able to gain clarity, how you were able to gain confidence, and then how you grew at the end of the day. Because they believe that if you could go through this process, then you can also take them through this transformation process as well. This is your impact story. Now, when you write your profile this way, which is story first and not your CV first, as the case is for many people, you stop blending in. This is what they call the differentiating factor. It helps you to stand out from other people. I mean, other people doing exactly what you do. So you become searchable, referable, and then most of all, memorable. People need to remember you. So something about you has to be different from other people so that they can easily and quickly remember you and then refer you. Remember, we always talk about the KLT factor in sales, which is before anybody buys into your service or your product, they must know you, they must like you, and then they must trust you. This is what we call magnetic storytelling. Not just telling stories for the fun of it, but relevant stories that speak to your transformation. Now, in fixing your LinkedIn story, it isn't hard. It may be a bit challenging at the beginning, but it is not hard. You just need a spine, which is what I have explained to you. And most importantly, a voice. Every individual, every organization, every business, and every brand has their own specific voice. So try the brand story spine. And if you want help crafting yours, subscribe and come and learn with me.
Here's how to make your LinkedIn profile to continue working for you even after the rewrite. Pin a featured post that shows your transformation. Use your headline to signify identity plus your offer. And don't disappear. Show up consistently, weekly, with aligned content. And remember, consistency plus clarity is equals to visibility. Now you know that it is not your titles or your qualification that makes you magnetic. It's your story, it's your journey. And let me tell you something, your story is not too small. It just needs to be told well. If you found this helpful, please hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to be sharing more storytelling strategies every week to help you build that wonderful and magnetic brand online. All right? Because these strategies are going to come in very useful for professionals, creatives who are tired of blending in and are now focused on building global and magnetic brands online. Take 15 minutes today and rewrite your about section. And when it goes live, please don't forget to tag me. I'd love to cheer you on.